Module 11, Photography, Science, and Society. What is photography? Photography comes from the Greek word photos, which means light, and graphy, which means drawing. Together, they mean drawing with light. Photography is the process of recording an image, a photograph, on light-sensitive film, or in the case of digital photography, via a digital electronic or magnetic memory. It is also an art, application, and practice of creating durable images by recording light, either electronically by means of an image sensor or chemically by means of a light-sensitive material such as photographic film. It is employed in many fields of science. Ang photography ay ginagamit sa paggawa ng arts, mga pelikula, at mga videos. Pwede rin itong gawing libangan. Ang photography rin ay maaaring gawing tool for visual communication. What is lens? Lens is used to focus the light reflected or emitted from objects into a real image on the light-sensitive surface inside the camera during a timed exposure. Science of photography. It is the use of chemistry and physics in all aspects of photography. Nai-a-apply ito sa camera, sa mga lens, physical operation of the camera, electronic camera internals or yung mga flash button, lens mount, lens release button, mode dial at iba pa. At ang proseso ng pagbuo ng film para kumuha at bumuo ng maayos na larawan. What is optic? Optic is the scientific study of sight and the behavior of light or the properties of transmission and deflection of other forms of radiation. Mayroong dalawang major branch ang optics, yung physical and geometrical. Physical optics deals primarily with the nature and property of light itself, while geometrical optics has to do with the principles that govern the image, forming properties of lenses, mirrors, and other devices that make use of light. Isang example ng optics ay yung technology of an astronomical telescope. Camera obscura, meaning dark room in Latin. It is a box-shaped device used as an aid for drawing or entertainment. A camera obscura is a darkened room with a small hole or lens at one side through which an image is projected onto a wall or table opposite the hole.
Lenses. A photographic lens is usually composed of several lens elements which combine to reduce the effects of chromatic aberration, spherical aberration, and other aberrations. Using a smaller aperture can reduce most, but not all aberrations. They can also be reduced dramatically by using an aspheric element, but these are more complex to grind than spherical or cylindrical lenses. However, with modern manufacturing techniques, the extra cost of manufacturing aspherical lenses is decreasing, and small aspherical lenses can now be made by molding, allowing their use in expensive consumer cameras. Aberrations are the blurring and distorting properties of an optical system. A high-quality lens will produce a smaller amount of aberrations. Spherical aberration occurs due to the increased refraction of light rays that occurs when rays strike a lens, or a reflection of light rays that occurs when rays strike a mirror near its edge in comparison with those that strike nearer the center. Focus. Focus is the tendency for light rays to reach the same place on the image sensor or film, independent of where they pass through the lens. Diffraction limit. Since light propagates as waves, the patterns it produces on a film are subject to the wave phenomenon known as diffraction, which limits The image resolution to pictures on the order of several times the wavelength of light.
11.2 Types of photography. Portrait photography. One of the most common photography styles, portrait photography or portraiture, aims to capture the personality and mood of an individual or group. Landscape photography. Landscape photography shows spaces within the world, sometimes vast and unending, but other times microscopic. Landscape photographs typically capture the presence of nature but can also focus on man-made features or disturbances of landscapes. Landscape photography is done for a variety of reasons. Photojournalism. Photojournalism is a way of telling the story of a newsworthy event or scene through photographs. Photojournalism should be as objective and truthful as possible, and capturing candid moments as they happen is more important than getting picture-perfect shots. Generally, photojournalists attend planned events with the hope of capturing unplanned, unscripted moments. Their work is routinely published in magazines and newspapers. Fashion photography. Fashion photography showcases and glamorizes fashion clothing, shoes, and accessories to make them more desirable to consumers. It is commonly published in magazines and online. People may choose this niche over different types of photography because of the opportunity to be highly creative in making photographs eye-catching and appealing.
Sports photography by catching athletes, coaches, and even fans at the perfect moment. Sports photographs can depict the passion, drama, and emotion that fuels sporting events. Sports photographers must aim and shoot quickly to keep up with the action around them. And it's best practice to use a higher ISO to shoot at a faster shutter speed. Sports photographers also usually use long heavy lenses for zooming in on the action. Interesting angles can help make your work stand out in this competitive genre. In other words, sports photography is the capture of sports, games, exercise, and other activities through photography. The word sports photography encompasses a wide range of activities. It has a connection to photojournalism as well as binocular, everyday life photography. Still life photography. Like it sounds, still life photography features inanimate objects, natural or man-made. Still life photography can be artistic or commercial. It is commonly used in stock photography as well as product advertising. Think of the product images shown in catalogs, magazines, and billboards. For still life photographer, object selection, arrangement, and lighting are key to getting a great shot. Basically, still life photography is the photographing of one or more inanimate objects arranged in a aesthetically pleasing composition. Editorial photography. Editorial photography is taken to illustrate a story or article, typically for a magazine or newspaper. The subject of editorial photography can vary widely, and it's entirely dependent on the topic of the text it accompanies. Generally, for editorial photography, you want to get shots that work for a variety of layouts, including horizontal and vertical composition. When working in editorial photography, you are likely to work closely with writers and art directors, and demonstrating good communication skill and professionalism will help you succeed. Also, editorial photography is images that appear alongside the text in print or online publication. Editorial style images are created to help tell a story or support the narrative in the text, with a focus on creating a specific mood or tone for the piece. Architectural photography. Both the interior and exterior design of buildings and structure are the subject of architectural photography. From warehouse to city bridges to old country barns, this genre encompasses diverse structures. Often the photographs showcase the structure's most aesthetically pleasing parts, such as a particular beam or archway. Interesting materials and colors may also be emphasized. Lighting can be challenging in architectural photography, and for exteriors, photographers must know how to work. In other words, architectural photography is about capturing not only the design and accurate representation of a building, but to have the shot be aesthetically pleasing to the viewer's eyes. And architectural photographers make pictures, not take pictures.
Wildlife photography. Wildlife photography is a genre of photography concerned with documenting various forms of wildlife in their natural habitat. As well as requiring photography skills, wildlife photographers may need field craft skills. Aerial photography. Aerial photography technique of photographing the Earth's surface or features of its atmosphere or hydrosphere, with cameras mounted on aircraft, rockets, or Earth-orbiting satellites, and other spacecraft. Events photography. Event photography is the practice of photographing guests and occurrences of any event or occasion where one may hire a photographer for.